1, 2, 3 in the place to be. It is me, KAY-D. Keep alive your dream. I'm a photographer, freelance photographer here in Houston, Texas, available for the world. Today, I bring to you my new everyday carry. Actually, it's not new. This coveted camera that I'm bringing you today, it was a dream of mine when I had back in 2012. I used to follow a photographer named Zach Arias, and he used to have Fuji. Fuji camera was a new thing to me. I was a Nikon shooter my entire life. I can say from birth on, my father has always had a Nikon camera with him. So, to my surprise, me choosing Fuji was something that's uncommon to me. Use Fuji film, you know, the actual 35mm or the 120. I've always liked the Fuji colors in 35mm film, but in 2012 they came out with cameras, and one of the first cameras that I fell in love with was the X100. I purchased it at one point in time. I loved it. It was the most amazing camera. But then the coveted X-Pro1, which I've held on to it long enough that it's coming back in style and people are actually picking these up. I was looking on the market on eBay and they got them for low as $450 and as high as $878. $878, that's what I paid for my Ricoh GR3. I can't believe it. Why am I bringing this camera up that's in 2012, from 2012, the blast from the past, up now? Realistically, it still shoots some of the best images I've seen. I currently own a XT4, a XT2, a XT1. I really don't use the XT1, that's more of my kids' cameras. In my GR3, it fell and broke a couple times, so that's in a repair shop. So my everyday carry has been this right here. I broke it out of my storage and I paired it with the 23mm f2, the weather seal one here. And let me tell you, to be honest with you, with the new electric viewfinders that everyone's putting in their cameras, I find it a relief to actually put a Fuji lens on here, either with the electric viewfinder or shoot optically with it. That's amazing to me. I mean, when this camera first came out, it was a 16 megapixel, what is it, 16.3? Yeah, a 16.3 megapixel camera. This camera lives. It has a soul. Like, this is a living, working machine. I can't really get into the technical aspects of it. I mean, I could, but I mean, this 2012 when this came out, sorry. 2012 when this camera came out. So why do I want to get into the technical specs when we have cameras that walk way surpass this, that just walk it out the ballpark? But this sensor, this CMOS sensor that it has in it, the ability to have tactile or actual to have dials. Look at this, you see it? Yeah. To actually have physical buttons on there. Then to have the minimal amount of buttons. I mean, and I have this little grip that, you know, I purchased with it, what makes it a little bit more beefier. I mean, it doesn't get any more simplistic and, I mean, more beautiful than this piece here. No, it doesn't. I mean, it shoots video, but no, I don't use it for video. But it's my everyday carry that I can just carry around with me. My GR3, it didn't last. Man, it didn't last. But this camera here, no sensor dust on it, God willing. But it just puts out wonderful, wonderful, wonderful photos. Now, also what I do with this camera here, I pair it with a Nikon 35mm 1.4. That's this beast here, and I have a photo deox converter for it. This is the G mount, Nikon G mount to F mount, because sometimes I put the non-aperture rings on it. The G lenses, like a Nikon 50 1.8. But I've been loving this pair, this combination together, because when I shoot wide open on this lens, it has some type of funkiness. I guess they call it fungus, but I don't know what it does, but it puts out the most creamiest, buttery, dreamy images during the daytime. And then at night, it just works magic. So having this combination together, you know, I do this here, bust this out over here, and then I'll put this together for you here. Let's see, and boom. And then this combination right here, it actually turns this camera combination into a 50 1.4. And you can see on the, now with these two pieces, see this serial number here? I found out that's a NASA lens. Actually, NASA used to use this lens here. And you know, we got a astronaut of a rock star here, of a photographer. That's myself. I purchased this camera. I think it was used. Yeah, I purchased this camera used. A guy didn't like Fuji, so I picked it up at a local camera shop. And this combination has been with me since about 2018. No, 2017, 18, around there. But this combination, and I can show you a couple of examples of it up on the screen now. Let's throw those images up. But the character that I get with this camera and this body is just amazing. Now, when I put the Nikon lens on it, of course, I don't get that thing that I was bragging about with the electric viewfinder, right? And yeah, it does add a little bit of weight to the front of it. Makes it front heavy, but with the grip, it just gives you this beefy, like this is something you want to shoot with. And then when I find myself out on my personal adventures, or if I know I'm going to go somewhere for the day, I'll go ahead and just throw the 23 on it right here. Now, what I suggest a person buy this, knowing that it's what, 2013, 12 it come out, like 12 years old. If you are seriously into photography and the prices of film are skyrocketing, and you like that, want to learn that old technology, that you want to shoot film, but you really don't want to spend the money on development and things like that, you just want to slow down your photography and get really good images, I highly suggest picking up one of these X-Pro1s, not for $800, of course. No. Not for $800. You get yourself something newer. But if you can find one of these at a really good deal, and you love photography, you love, like, also, that I forgot to bring up, with this sensor, has a non-aliasing, I can't say it, so it doesn't have a cover on it, so you get really sharp details when you nail some things. I usually keep the ISO about, you know, I just let you do that, run the gamut. But what I suggest picking up one of these in 2023, if I can get a good deal on it, I certainly highly agree picking one up for less than $500, especially if you can get a little lens attached, or if you're already a Fuji shooter. This 23 f2 works phenomenal on it. I mean, it's just one of my favorite everyday carries. And if you see photos on my Instagram, Keep Alive Your Dream, I will definitely mark it on this. And basically, that's all I got for you today. I got this wonderful classic lens combination for you. My Fujifilm X-Pro1 paired with my Nikon 35 1.4, my NASA lens, and also the 23 f2, the weather resistant style here. So if you're interested in anything photography, hit me up on Instagram. Make sure you like, follow this channel. And as I always say, I see you when I see it. Peace. Peace.